ties, Uzbek President Shavkat Mirziyoyev begins a 3-day visit to China, praises the historic high in bilateral relations. Food security, China achieves new milestone in grain output, significantly strengthening the country's food security efforts. Tourism revival. Tourism authorities announce exciting incentives nationwide amid stimulating local economies and revitalizing the tourism sector. From CGTN headquarters here in Beijing, this is Global Business. I'm Xiao Vandenberg. Uzbekistan's President Shavkat Mirziyoyev arrives in Beijing for a state visit to China. He was invited by President Xi Jinping and will stay until Thursday. In an article published in Chinese media ahead of the visit, Mirziyoyev said relations with China were at historic high. He said bilateral trade rose 40% last year, and China and Uzbekistan's top trade partner. Chinese investment in Uzbekistan had grown rapidly, and Mirziyoyev said the Belt and Road Initiative had helped Central Asia become an important link in global connectivity. It had transformed the region's geographical disadvantages into advantages. Now to China Central Asia gas pipeline. The cross-border artery natural gas pipeline runs over 1,800 kilometers from Turkmenistan through Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan to China. Our reporter Feng Yilei caught up with some of the people behind this groundbreaking initiative.
An energy artery connects Central Asia and China, traversing the vast Gobi Desert of Uzbekistan. And in this intricate network lies a compressor station akin to a beating heart, tirelessly processing natural gas and propelling it eastward. Amidst unforgiving weather, a united force of Chinese and Uzbek workers stands resolute, dedicating their days and nights to safeguard the seamless operation of these vital pipelines. For Ling Qi, the station manager with 7 years of experience in Uzbekistan, this feat would not have been possible without coordination and adaptation to overcome cross-cultural challenges.
Uzbekistan and China each have their own distinct management systems and standards. We leverage complementary advantages with our Chinese team excelling in technical expertise and the Uzbek team demonstrating strong hands-on skills. Together, we implement small reforms and address practical issues so as to improve quality and efficiency, ensure the safe operation of the pipeline, and contribute to technological innovation.
The team prioritizes skills improvement to ensure no one is left behind. Alongside Ling, Zamir Mamadov serves as an example of the personal growth facilitated by such mindset. Within a mere 8 years of joining the company, he has leveled up from being a fresh graduate to becoming a deputy manager.
We don't have the barrier as a language between Uzbek and the Chinese staff. We have the drills and the training paths for the technical part of the equipment. Every day we are working here just improve ourselves, our skills, our knowledge, experience. It's linked each together, the Chinese side and Uzbek side.
Zooming out for a wider view, their unwavering dedication ripple out to broader impact.
Workers here told me that these pipelines stretch all the way to China, almost along the Asian Silk Road that facilitates exchanges in the region. And today, this Silk Road serves as an energy lifeline that links Central Asia and China.
At present, the total capacity of the 3 gas pipelines stands at an impressive 55 billion cubic meters per year. Since inception in 2009, they have successfully transported over 400 billion cubic meters of natural gas. That equates a substantial decrease of 500 million tons in carbon dioxide emissions.
Geopolitical influences, including regional conflicts, have posed significant challenges for the traditional transportation industry, given the changing landscape of energy structures. However, in terms of opportunities, I am more optimistic. We need to stay steady and focused, ensuring the success of our traditional project while maximizing the full potential of its core competitiveness. Both green development and digital transformation are key areas that will drive our future growth and expansion.
From the remote lands to the bustling cities, the China-Central Asia pipeline has touched the lives of hundreds of millions of people, not only creating jobs, fueling economic growth, but also fostering environmental sustainability. And this vital infrastructure will persistently deliver energy, advancements, and prosperity to the region, exemplifying the collaborative spirit and partnership between China and Central Asia. Feng Yilei, CGTN, Bukhara in Uzbekistan.
The Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Browne, called for more economic and trade cooperation with China on the second day of his week-long official visit to China. At the invitation of Chinese Premier Li Qiang, the visit is Browne's second visit to China as Prime Minister after a previous trip back in 2014. Zheng Chunying has more.
Morning.
Tuesday is Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda's Gaston Browne's second day in China. He attended a bilateral trade forum this morning, calling for more efforts to boost economic ties between the two countries. His view was backed by Mr. Yu Jianlong, the Vice President of the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, who says Beijing is also willing to enhance cooperation.
Antigua and Barbuda's trade volume reached $162 million, a year-on-year increase of 72.9%. In particular, China's imports from Antigua and Barbuda increased more than fourfold, which fully reflects the vigorous vitality of economic and trade cooperation between the two sides.
Noting this year marks the 40th anniversary since diplomatic ties were established, the Prime Minister said Antigua and Barbuda hopes its friendship with China lasts forever, and he expressed optimism for the future.
Well, we'd like to see more trade and investments between Antigua and Barbuda and the People's Republic of China. Opportunities for investments in various sectors of our economy, in hotel construction, even in agriculture, in advanced medical therapies, many sectors in which there are opportunities not only to provide services to the local people, but also to export those services to North America and Europe.
The Prime Minister also said that China and Antigua and Barbuda ties serves as a great example of collaboration between large countries and small countries, and that Antigua and Barbuda considers China as its most important cooperative partner, and it firmly adheres to the One China principle, which is a solid cornerstone of bilateral relations that will never change. Zheng Chunying, CGTN, Beijing.
Now, for more discussions on these state visits, we're joined by John Gong, professor at the University of International Business and Economics. John, good to see you. Let's first talk about Uzbekistan's president's visit to China. What's the expected outcome from this visit, especially regarding economic and trade cooperation and infrastructure projects?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I think Uzbekistan President Mirziyoyev can be called an old friend of China. He has been visiting China for a couple of times. I think for the last 3 years, he visited China every year. And as a matter of fact, last year he visited China twice, and now he is taking another state visit to China. Obviously, I think the relationship between Beijing and Tashkent has been improving for the last few years, especially in consideration of these major infrastructure projects, the pipelines project we have reported, and there's also a railway project that's under construction, passing Kazakhstan as well. So I think these infrastructure projects contribute immensely to the economic development of the region, particularly Uzbekistan. And on top of this, of course, the trade between the two sides have been improving greatly. So I think, President Mirziyoyev's visit signifies the importance of China in its foreign policy.
Yeah. What about Prime Minister Gaston Browne's visit to China? What are the prospects for bilateral trade and economic cooperation between Antigua and Barbuda and China? And what are China's major exports to and imports from this country?
Well, the island country, Antigua, Barbuda, I've been to a couple of Caribbean countries, but this is the one country I like to visit. I have never been there before.
Yeah.
But But this I just checked. This country has a population of 100,000 people. I mean, this is the size of maybe a residential community in the city of Beijing. But small country or not, China has the same diplomatic relationship, foreign policy with other countries, regardless of the size of the country. So, over the years, the relationship has greatly improved. China's exports are mostly manufactured products. Boats, textiles, electronics, consumer electronics, all these kind of things. And Antigua, Barbuda's biggest export to China is actually its tourism industry. So I think this is a great tropical place to visit. Reportedly, it's actually a very large American expatriate community on the island country. And I think, looking forward, I think there could be more and more Chinese tourists visiting the Caribbeans. This country has established a relationship with China many, many years ago. So I think it is probably one of the most reliable and friendly countries in the Caribbean towards China. And I think we have an incentive to steer our tourist stream to that country. So I think, in terms of economic relationship between the two sides, there's great hope and great promise looking forward.
Yeah, looks like a beautiful country. Would love to visit someday as well. Now, looking forward, how do you think China and these countries can deepen their cooperation within the framework of Belt and Road Initiative?
Well, I think aside from the improvement in bilateral trade, certainly the Belt and Road Initiative is a major initiative that can also bring benefits to both sides. Many of these countries need infrastructures, and this is where China can pitch in and help. And I think aside from this, there's also a very important point I want to bring about, which has to do with the political implication. The Caribbean island region is probably has the largest number of countries that haven't still established diplomatic relationship with China as yet. Haiti, one of the largest Caribbean countries, still maintains a relationship with Taiwan. Belize, Guatemala, these are Central American countries, also still keeping relationship with Taiwan. I think Antigua and Barbuda's relationship with China, particularly its prosperity, somewhat associated with the relationship with China, sets a great example for those countries that still haven't established diplomatic relationship with China. And I think the benefits coming from that is for everybody to see. So I think, from that point of view, the country's status with China, its president's visit to Beijing sets a great example for any politicians in these countries that I just mentioned that still keep a relationship with Taiwan to see that what are the benefits to be a good friend of China.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for insights. Always great to have you on the show. Zhang Gong, professor at the University of International Business and Economics for us. Connecting Malaysia's big West Coast ports and capital region to a joint venture, China-Malaysia port on the underdeveloped East Coast, the East Coast Rail Link is the Malaysia's biggest ever infrastructure project. The China Communication Construction Company, or CCCC, is building the rail line and recently reached another milestone with the start of track laying using the latest Chinese technology, as Ryan Melzer reports from Malaysia's East Coast region.
This is CCCC's hub for welding the rails for the East Coast Rail Link and producing the concrete sleepers on which those rails will sit. The plant here can produce 2,700 sleepers a day, as well as welding 25-meter-long rails from China into continuous 500-meter-long lengths. Using the latest equipment, CCCC is laying up to 2 kilometers of track per day, at least 3 times faster than conventional methods.
It uses advanced automation, improved logistics, and enhanced construction technologies, coupled with precision engineering.
The 665-kilometer rail line will link Malaysia's big West Coast ports and capital to a joint venture China-Malaysia port and industrial park, towns and cities on the East Coast. It entails the construction of dozens of bridges and tunnels, including the longest tunnel in Southeast Asia. Despite the project having been cancelled, then revived, all the complications of the pandemic and the geological and climatic challenges, the construction of the East Coast Rail Link remains a bit ahead of schedule. The East Coast is the least developed region of peninsular Malaysia, and economic opportunities are scarce.
This project has definitely created more job opportunities quickly. Before, I had to go to Kuala Lumpur for work. Now I'm able to return and work close to my hometown.
It's a huge project that creates many jobs and economic opportunities for local people and the local business.
The aim of the ECRL is not only to transport people and freight between Malaysia's populated west and underdeveloped east, but to draw investment and spur growth along the entire rail corridor. Ryan Meltzer, CGTN, Pahang, Malaysia.
You're watching Global Business, still to come. China achieves new milestone in grain output, significantly strengthening the country's food security efforts.
The world economy as we know it is about to change. Global Business reports highlight emerging markets, developing countries, and dynamic sectors worldwide. We feature top analysts and newsmakers to provide perspectives on every facet of business. From an on-the-ground perspective, we provide you with balanced and objective assessments. Fast, sharp, and insightful. Global Business, only on CGTN.
China's grain output hit a new high in 2023. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Affairs held a press conference this morning, summarizing the overall performance of China's agricultural and rural economy in the past year. Authorities say the record-setting output provides a strong guarantee to the country's food security. Officials said China produced over 695.4 million metric tons of grain in 2023. The record high also represents an annual increase of 1.3%. The country's annual grain output has stayed above 650 million tons for 9 years running. The Agriculture Ministry said China's grain output is well structured with sufficient reserves, which ensures the country's food security. They also pledged to further strengthen policy support to bolster the sector. Central China's Henan province is a major grain producer, and it's determined to attain self-reliance in seeds. Experts say the goal is an important one for national development, as it will help feed the country's huge population while boosting food security. Xia Ruixue reports.
The winter wheat sowing season in Henan province is complete. The outcome will decide the success of next year's summer harvest. Zhou Zhengfu is in his lab, examining new wheat species has been developing. He's focused on improving their performance, making them resistant to lodging and disease, and enhancing their yield.
Today, the wheat yield in China has increased by tenfold compared to 70 years ago. This is largely attributed to advances in seed technology, which accounts for 45% of overall improvements, so it's very significant to develop high-quality seeds.
Zhou works at the National Innovation Center for Biobreeding Industry in Xinxiang City, Henan Province. He's developed more than 30 high-quality wheat seed varieties. The region has many other research centers dedicated to seed varieties, positioning itself as the agricultural valley of central China, with a primary focus on developing high-quality seeds. There are over 70 seed industry companies, with more being welcomed to create a comprehensive agri-industrial supply chain through more startups and enterprises.
Our research center focuses on studying various seed varieties such as wheat, corn, peanut, soybean, and some vegetables. Additionally, we provide technological support to seed industry enterprises, colleges, and institutes.
Most of the companies are in this building, enabling us to easily exchange information. We appreciate the generous support from the local government, including their assistance in transferring land for our research purposes.
Seed production is of paramount importance to China, given its immense population and the resources invested in ensuring food security. As China's demand for food increases, agricultural experts are tasked with developing a wider range of seed varieties, not only to increase output, but also improve quality. Experts say self-sufficiency and self-reliance in seeds are key goals, as this will allow China to have greater control over food production and security.
Seeds are the chips of agriculture. We still rely heavily on foreign imports for some types of seeds. China is increasing effort to promote the seed industry. 夏瑞雪 CGTN 新乡河南 Province.
To some other business headlines from around the world. Guangdong has become the first province in China to surpass an annual GDP of 13 trillion yuan, or $1.8 trillion, maintaining its position as the nation's leader for 35 consecutive years, according to recently released data from the local government. Bank of Japan has kept interest rates at ultra-low levels despite increasing confidence to achieve the 2% inflation target on a sustainable basis. In a separate development, the Russian government has proposed extending capital controls on exporters until the end of this year. These measures would require exporters to convert their foreign currency revenues into rubles. Popular domestic tourist destinations are making headlines in China as local officials use cultural activities and social media campaigns to boost tourist spending. Heilongjiang, Henan, Shanxi, and Hebei are among the provinces that have recruited local celebrities to promote tourist spots online. They're also making short videos on social platforms to showcase local culture, special activities, and food. Meanwhile, Henan, Guangdong, and Shanxi have released tourist coupons to attract visitors. The China Tourism Academy predicts that domestic tourist visits could top 6 billion, while revenue could reach 600 million yuan, or about $84 million in the coming year. That's a 50% increase in tourist visits and a 33% rise in revenue from last year's estimates. With the Chinese New Year holiday just weeks away, the province of Guangdong is aiming to become a top destination for the travel season. Local tourism authorities have joined forces with major enterprises and have outlined 10 measures to promote cultural activities and consumer spending throughout 2024. Omar Khan has more.
Guangdong's Provincial Culture Department and local enterprises are looking to boost regional tourism. Just weeks ahead of the Chinese New Year, the southern province is aiming to have more people choose Guangdong as their top travel destination.
2024 marks the 75th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. It's a crucial year for achieving the goals of the 14th Five-Year Plan. We have introduced a series of measures to promote cultural and tourist-related consumption. This will be done to unleash the potential of tourism consumption and promote the high-quality development of the tourism industry.
The measures involve many of South China's largest enterprises, such as China Southern Airlines and WeChat, as the companies roll out programs to facilitate travel, provide discounts, and bolster consumer spending.
During specified time periods, users can access our Guangdong Consumption Voucher app through our official account, our posts, and our offline posters by scanning QR codes. They can also actively search our Guangdong Consumption Voucher app on WeChat. In addition, we will also promote our activities through our moments and the traffic we receive after payments so that more people can know about our activities.
To attract more people to travel to Guangdong, we plan to invest 2 million discount coupons of different values ranging from 20 to 300 yuan this year. In addition, there are also some other travel benefits, such as lounge upgrades, luggage-related specials, and other travel benefits that come together, as well as more favorable airfare prices. Together, we want more people to choose China Southern Airlines and take their flights to Guangdong.
The main event has now kicked off, with vouchers from provincial culture authorities and participating companies now live. And many of the activities and places where they are redeemed span throughout the Greater Bay Area. Though many people in Guangzhou and in the province of Guangdong head home for the Chinese New Year holiday, South China continues to be a major tourist destination. And that's exactly what this event is all about. Launching a campaign and issuing a series of policies that will hopefully bring more people to the region throughout the Chinese New Year and beyond. Omar Khan, CGTN, Guangzhou.
An increasing number of young people in China are finding enjoyment wearing traditional Hanfu costumes, especially while visiting ancient cities. It's providing a significant boost to tourism in cities like Zhengding in Hebei province. Our reporter Ning Hong visited Zhengding, where a traditional costume called the Warring States robe is said to have been worn by locals 2,000 years ago.
Wearing traditional costumes while visiting historical sites has become an essential travel activity for many young Chinese.
We just finished the makeup and we're heading for the nearby temple. I may send some social media posts.
In the ancient city of Zhengding, the enthusiasm of Hanfu is becoming one of the main ways to attract visitors.
In the past week, there have been many tourists from all over the country.
Around the trend of Hanfu, various businesses have emerged, including makeup, hairstyling, costume rental, and photography.
The popularity of Warring States robe is related to the history of the Yan and Zhao regions. Especially the attire can demonstrate a sense of historical mission. Now, many customers come from other places. Some even take flights specifically to find me. I'm glad to see our traditional culture being recognized by more people.
I think the costumes we see now bears the historical and cultural features of our history, and they're worthy of being admired and inherited.
Local tourism departments have also taken the opportunity to release various promotional videos featuring Hanfu, attracting tourists to local historical sites. The Hanfu trend has gradually moved from a niche hobby to mainstream culture, becoming a way for many Chinese people to celebrate festivals. Ning Hong, CGTN, Hebei Province.
And that will do it for this edition of Global Business. I'm Xia Vandenberg in Beijing. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.